the Spirit on you, he has the actual characteristics in the Bible of these people on the left. So we equate it to those characteristics to the people. All right, now you have Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all the way down. These were the sons of Jacob in the Bible. He had 12 sons.
I know the Bible.
Yeah, his name was changed to Israel.
Yes.
That was his name. So if his name was changed to Israel, they would be Israelites through him. So these names you see over here, you have these people, the Israelites, have been conquered. This is the 7th captivity that they've been in when you read the Bible. And every time this captivity that they're in now under America, because the Negroes, the Latinos, and the natives, well, the Negroes and the Haitians and the Jamaicans, they were brought over here from the west coast of Africa. The other 10 tribes were here 3,000 years ago. They were here before we even got over here. When you go Ephraim on down, it tells you that in the Apocrypha. If you ever watched the movie Columbus, when he was talking to Ferdinand in that movie, they was asking him how did he know that this land inhabited people. He read the Apocrypha. He read the Bible. This was the Apocrypha. This is the 14 books that they took away from the Bible. Now, if you have a 1611 edition, it will have this right after the Old Testament. You won't have to have this book. And this is what Columbus read. That's how he knew that this land was inhabited by people. This is 2 Ezra 13 and 39. Whereas thou sawest that to gather another people multitude unto him. Apocrypha.
I know what the Apocrypha is, but I've never. Who prints it?
Whoever printed
Cambridge University.
which Cambridge would be. Yeah, which would be what? If you look at it, you would think they're so-called white. They print those books, but nobody else has the power to print them right now. I don't have money to buy a print press. Right? Now I'm gonna read to you how Columbus found out there were inhabitants over here. Now, where I was second Ezra. Listen real close. This is second Ezra.
You're not Mormon.
No.
Because they talk about this in the Book of Mormon. Have you read the Book of Mormon?
No.
Well, they talk about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's certain, they speak some things, but a lot of truths they don't know about the scriptures. Only men, the Lord has certain men that are sent to understand the whole book. You know, everybody can read, but when you read, do you really understand what you're reading? That's the key to it. They call it reading comprehension. Do you really understand what you're reading? But you have to be a spiritual man, because a lot of these are dark sayings. But this is not too dark to say. It says, 2 Ezra 13 and 39, it says, and whereas thou sawest gather together another peaceable multitude, those are the 10 tribes, right? Which are the northern kingdom, which is Ephraim, Gad, Asher, Simeon, Manasseh, Zebulun, all the way down. Okay? And it says, they were taken away prisoners prisoners out of their own land because these people lived in Israel, the land of Israel.
That's two.
Everybody lived there at one time.
At one time.
Yeah, and then you had, this is when they left, it says, take away prisoners out of their own land until the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria, during the Assyrian Empire, led away captives, and he captured them over to the waters, right, which he took them to this part right here. He basically took them from their homeland, which was Israel here, to like right in here. This is what the Assyrians ruled back in like the 750 BC 800. The Assyrians ruled this area right in here. like all this area right in here.
That's right.
So he took it from here to here, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. And he says, verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen. Now they were heathen. The Syrians were heathen. It says, and go forth into a further country where no mankind dwelt. Nobody had dwelt on this side before. Now when you read in the book of Kings, when Solomon was ruling, right? Hold, I'll let you hold. I'll hold it. Solomon, you can stand right there. You can stand right there.
It's
Zone.
no. Oh,
Yeah, it
no.
says-
My problem is it's hard for me to read that
Oh yeah.
because I don't see very.
Yeah, me too, because I'm about to put my glasses on. And he says he took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth to a country where no mankind had dwelt. Nobody had dwelt over here. Now when you read in the book of Kings, Solomon had a navy, which he hired Hiram, a Canaanite, and they used to come over here. It took them a year and a half to come over here, and they would grab the peacocks, which were turkey. They would grab certain woods when they were creating his kingdom, basically. They would get all the finest woods and everything. A lot of that stuff was here in this land. Now he would send them over here, and they would come get all that stuff, the spices, everything. They would take back to Solomon, but nobody lived here. And he said, and this is what Columbus, Cristobal Colon was reading when that movie Columbus. He told him this is what he read. He says that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land, because these statutes, laws, is 613 laws in the Bible. Ten Commandments
The Old Testament.
Ten Commandments is like the, you know how you write a book, and you have the table of contents, you have the subject matter, 5 subject matter, and inside each subject matter you have the context or the text that's describing that subject matter. So when you have 10 commandments, those are like when it says thou shalt not commit adultery, you have certain laws in the Bible that go with that adultery. It's different examples. So each example is a law. So they couldn't keep their laws, right? So they wanted to come to their own land. So they said, now they entered into the Euphrates by a narrow passage of the river. The Euphrates comes through Iraq.
Yes.
So they left here and channeled down through here, the Euphrates. They entered into the Gulf of Persian Gulf, and they went down around the bottom of Africa. And they went around the bottom, right? And it's going to tell you, check this out, it's going to say, for the Most High then showed them signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. Because if you know anything about the currents of the oceans, the Atlantic Ocean has the roughest current than any ocean on the planet. The Atlantic. It's rougher. When you got that area down below Africa, because the way the wind blows from the Sahara, it's real rough. So it said the Lord held back the flood. He didn't mean the water was going to go so high till it flooded. He mean he held back the rough waters to give them a safe passage.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because you know,
I'm not with you.
Because you know,
on that being.
Well, you don't have
just
to be,
listen for a minute. On that being the Atlantic, but that ocean, most people who look at oceans,
they don't sail that way.
They call it the Southern Ocean.
You know, when
it's
people
the ocean.
When they sail, where do they go? They go to Pacific and they come through the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
So
the ocean is the ocean that surrounds Antarctica, and that is the roughest ocean in the world.
Well, maybe now, but at that time, this is 2018, right? This is 700 BC. See what I mean?
But
So it says,
going around the horn is very.
And it says, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half. The same region is named Ar-Sarah. That land, Arsa, means unknown land. Nobody lived here until those tribes came over here. And that was 3,000 years ago. That was way before the fall of Rome. That was way before
Yeah.
The Dark Ages and the Renaissance. This is way before 3,000 years ago, 700 BCs. That was before Babylon, the Babylonian Nebuchadnezzar. That was before the Maccabees era, the Hasmonean Empire. That was before the Greek Empire. These people were over here. Now Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was stayed there. Because they were in captivity, and these are the ones that went into captivity under the Babylonians. And then when the Babylonians fell to the Persians and Artaxerxes, and took them as his captives. Then the Greek Empire with Alexander took these three tribes as his captives, and then the Roman Empire, and Rome fell, right? Then the Dark Ages, these Israelites ruled, and then the so-called white man came back in the Renaissance and took these people down again, which was all orchestrated by the Lord. Because these people, they sinned against his covenant. So if you sin against his covenant, he'll put you in captivity under another nation.
What I'm going to do, because I find what you say very interesting. I've read the Bible.
So you know the children of Israel are the chosen?
Well, whether I believe what's in the Bible or not is another thing. But I have to admit, I know what the Apocrypha is, but I've never read it.
Yeah.
And that I should do. So I'm going to go do that.
Okay, let me read one scripture before you go. You can leave on this one if you like. It says, 1 Peter 4 and 11, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things might be glorified through his Son, Jesus Christ, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. So when we speak according to what the scriptures say. Because a lot of people, like I've had people talk to people before, they want to hear my synopsis of what happened without using the book. That's my opinion, because I can put my opinion in anything. But when you read right out of the Heavenly Father's book, if you don't agree with it, then hey,
I'm going to thank you.
You know, but true believers are going to believe everything in the book, word for word. I believe.
Well, I'm going to go do that.
So what?
Thank you. Where is that? Where do I get that tram?
Who?
That yellow street.
Stand right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, come. Yeah, it's a sign right there. So yeah, these are the 12 tribes of Israel. The Lord is coming for a certain. He's not coming for the whole tribe, because he said that 2/3 of these people, they will not listen and obey what I'm telling you. So he's going to actually have 2/3 of these people die in famine and pestilence, and you have race riots that are coming. And then when they go to World War III, which is going to be, because the Bible speaks of the Third World War and how it's going to be, a lot of these people are going to die. He's going to grab. You ever watch hockey and basketball? Halfway through the season, they pick the best to play against each other. He's going to pick the best out of these who believe that they will be protected in that day. Now, with the people, you have 18 nations on the planet. Those planets, those 18 nations are really here for these people. You have these people.
What is Argentina to Chile?
There was the tribe is Naphtali. Yeah, Argentina. Chile. Do I have that?
I've been to Argentina.
Do I have my American map?
I know where it is.
Yeah. Those people are. That's where that tribe basically settled. And when you check it out, in Genesis, the 49th chapter, right? It talks about Naphtali. It says Naphtali is a hind let loose, giving goodly words. The people are real nice people. They say giving goodly words. In Deuteronomy, it says, look at Deuteronomy 33 and 26. So I'm gonna look at 33, give you Argentina to Chile. Naphtali, he said, O Naphtali, thy flavor is full with the blessings of the Lord possessed in the west and the south. Right? He said the west and the south. Now we know that they came to South America. The tribes, the 10 tribes came over here. Some came, the Reubenites, when you see on that sign, the Reubenites settled somewhere in Florida. That's why they call them the Seminoles, the Seminole Indians. The ancient Seminoles, their name in the Bible is Reuben. You have Gad, which are the North American Indians. They settle in North America. Issachar, the Mexicans, you see where they settled. Zebulon is Guatemala to Panama. You had our people settling in that land right in Central America and then down in South America. You had Brazil, Uruguay to Brazil, or the Asher tribe, and Naphtali, because look, it said from the west and the south. When you look at South America, the far west is Argentina, and to the south, Argentina and Chile. That's the far west, and the far south, you can go south in South America.
Well, they're both the southern tip.
It's like, that tip. Argentina rides along that west coast a little bit.
No.
It starts like right here.
Absolutely not.
It don't?
Argentina's all along the east coast.
It is not?
And Chile
Hold on. Let me get my phone. Because I'm pretty sure I done seen that before. Hold on.
Chile's on the west,
it's on
and
the east.
Argentina's on the east.
Hold on.
Argentina's on the Atlantic. Except for the very tip, which is on the
Let me make sure. It says the south and the west.
South America is shaped like an ice cream cone. And Chile and Argentina are like a cone. The rest is like an ice cream.
South and the west. See? Like you said, it's the south.
Yeah, that's Chile.
And Chile goes all the way up to Peru, right here, which is the west. That's why I said the south and the west.
South and the west. Whoop,
Yeah.
my fault.
And on the east
And Argentina.
Argentina is the south. That's far south as you can go.
Yeah.
See? And then Chile is on the west.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said east. I knew it. See that right there?
Argentina's on the
Argentina is the southernmost country, and Chile is like in the southwest. Like that's why that scripture said it told them they would be in the south and the west. That was a prophecy telling them that they would be over here in this land over here.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to go and I'm going to get this book on you.
All right.
Thank you
After
very
you
much.
read it, hey, come on back.
Okay.
All right. And it says, see, that's Esau, man. He come up here and I know I didn't read it before but I had to prove to him. He said Argentina was on the east, but it's not. That scripture, the prophecy said that they will be in the south and the west, man. Okay, and Argentina is the southernmost country. This is Hebrews 12 and 16. Least they be any fornicator or profane person is Esau, man. Unholy outside the temple, man. And that was him. That was an Edomite, man. That was a typical Edomite. Because, the scriptures, he was saying that he had never read. How you going to read? You don't even believe. And the Apocrypha is part of the Bible. So how are you going to pick up the Apocrypha and then read it? See, that's Edomite being a subtle, man. You know what I mean? Ain't no blessing for him, man. It says, least they be any fornicator or profane person is Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright, man. And he's an Edomite, man. He is a descendant of Esau, man. There's gonna be his kingdom is now, man. He could be an old rich Edomite, man, just walking around downtown, man. But his future is slavery, man. That's the future for Esau, man. It's gonna be destruction of his society, and slavery is going to come upon the elites of his society, and he's going to die on this side. He's going to be born back into slavery, man. When them thermonuclear missiles hit him, when them thermonuclear ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, when they come to America and smash America, he's going to be burned up in there, man. He's not going to make it out, man. And he said, I don't believe. I didn't expect you to believe because you're an Edomite. I didn't expect him to believe no way. You know?